Hey, I've been contemplating and experiencing like next level healing, and I wanted to share it with you. Next level for me, next level for us, who knows? I don't know, but do know that I'm pretty sick of it. And when you come across something that you've already known, you get it, you totally get it on a soul level. You know why you experienced it, you know attributes of it, what you learned from the experiences, you've felt the feelings, you've released those aspects, and yet something else is like, oh, shit, I'm still playing that flipping game. I'm still identifying with that old part of me, that game I was playing, whether it be victim status or drama or, poor me or whatever it is. And you didn't even realize that you were playing it out. And even though you go through the levels and you see the learning. And so um, I just wanted to talk about how we still identify in some aspects of our life because we're still seeking some benefits from those things, whether it be needing external validation or support, sympathy, even just habitually doing it, and forgetting that that's not who we are. And to me, it's really only just seeing it and acknowledging it. And once we've seen it and acknowledged it, we don't have to play that game anymore. You can let it go because we are that soul. We are that soul, and we know who we are. And we're sitting on that place now where everything is possible. Anything is possible as long as we stay on that level of the soul blueprint, right? And then within the physical reality, there's aspects of us, right? And those aspects work together. And sometimes they can work against us because we're still playing out in different aspects, in different parts of our lives. So when we acknowledge that, we are able to release it, okay, and then come back to our soul and embody that even more so. So, in regards to physical healing as well, which we've talked about before, and how that aspect of the physical self needs to be dealt with. Okay, so in regards to trauma and say burnout and things like that, where our physical body felt threatened, we are reminded to address that aspect too, because I think on an emotional level, on a mental level, and a soul level, we understand why these things happen. We've cleared the energy around it. We can see it for what it is, and it was an experience. It's not something that we identify with. We need to know more about. Yet, it's something that our body hasn't felt, heard, and understood. And so, having that part of ourselves um, acknowledge that within ourselves and say that, okay, I'm sorry that I didn't make you feel safe. And it may not have been even in the same circumstances from when it was that, the quite traumatic experience. It could be other circumstances where you didn't feel safe. And that's what happened for me. It was in the workplace. And so there was other aspects of it where it was just like, oh, get on with it, or don't worry about that, or that's what they're like, things like that. But my body did not feel safe. I felt threatened, and I didn't acknowledge that. So I had to look at that and say, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for not acknowledging you and not giving you the space to feel safe. And I always wondered why I wanted to go back to bed and just stay in bed. My burnout was just like, because it was years of this, because I hadn't seen that I wasn't protecting myself and being the love and support that I needed for my physical self, my body. So I wanted to share that with you. And the next thing is that question that I ask myself, because I'm the kind of person who says, okay, this isn't working for me. I don't feel aligned. I don't feel content. So I'm just going to jump in and do it. And I asked myself this one question, and I sat there and I moved through a whole lot of stuff about myself, because I saw it. And as soon as I saw it and acknowledged it and asked myself, what am I still holding on to? And then something will present itself and I'll say why. And then I might get a benefit from having this, or I might have a realization as to why it is not in my best interest to hold on to something like that. And then all of a sudden I have acceptance and release in that instant, and it's gone. And I just kept on going through it and going through it and going through it. And then the next day, I was exhausted. I was exhausted and I needed to feel safe and protected. And I stayed home. I didn't go out in my beautiful nature. I just stayed with myself. And I nurtured myself and I loved myself and I made my body feel safe. And that in itself is powerful healing, because here I am back again, and that was 2 days worth of stuff. And acknowledge the emotions if there were any, because that's important too. Clear it on all those aspects, acceptance, as in self-forgiveness for feeling those things or playing those games, making sure those aspects are all in place, that parts of ourselves, and the archetypes that we're playing in. I mean, that's part of our experience, right? Part of being here. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of or feel guilty about. We play these aspects, we play these parts in this reality for the experience. And when we come back to that underlying soul level, which is who we are, right? The holographic self. And that is, so what is there is always there, right? It's always who we are, that aspect. And then once this is restored, our new hologram, our old, I suppose, or original self is then projected into this reality, right? Each day, what does my soul want to experience today, and where I want to come from, and what I want to learn, and what do I want to see and feel, Yeah.